Welcome to Awakening Heaven on Earth. Before we begin, take a moment to arrive. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to believe, and nowhere you need to go. Simply listen, contemplate, and notice what stirs and resonates within you. This is a shared space of reflection, presence, and remembrance. Now, let us begin. There is a moment in every spiritual journey when unity stops being an idea and becomes a relationship. It is one thing to speak of oneness in stillness, in prayer, or in meditation. It is another thing entirely to practice unity in the presence of another human being, especially one who challenges us, disappoints us, or wounds us. This episode is devoted to that sacred edge, the place where unity is tested, refined, and made real. Across spiritual traditions, psychological insight, and human experience, there is a consistent truth. We do not awaken to unity alone. We awaken to unity through one another. And so today, we explore a body of wisdom, spiritual, psychological, philosophical, and scientific, that helps us learn how to see the divine in every soul, including those we find hardest to love. Before we begin, let us ground ourselves. Take a slow and gentle breath in and release slowly. Unity with others does not begin with fixing the world. It begins with how we see the world. Now let's enter a time of inner reflection. Place one hand over your heart if that feels comfortable, and quietly ask within, where in my life am I being invited to see others more deeply? Take a deep breath in and slowly release. One of the most powerful modern witnesses to this truth is the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu. In his work, The Book of Forgiving, written with his daughter Mpho Tutu, forgiveness is not presented as denial of pain or moral bypassing. It is presented as the courageous act of restoring humanity, both in the one who was harmed and the one who caused harm. Forgiveness, in this vision, is not saying, "What happened was acceptable." It is saying, "What happened will not define who we are becoming." To forgive is to refuse to let another person's worst act become their whole identity. It is to insist that beneath the wound, beneath the fear, beneath the betrayal, there lives an eternal soul made of the same sacred substance as your own. This concept deepens in the book, No Future Without Forgiveness, where Tutu reflects on collective healing after social trauma. He asks a question that echoes far beyond politics. What happens to a society when it chooses retribution over recognition? The answer is sobering. When we dehumanize another person, we fracture ourselves. When we deny the sacredness of another soul, we erode the foundation of unity beneath our own feet. Let's enter a time of inner reflection. Let this land gently. Ask within, where have I confused justice with judgment? Take a deep breath in and release slowly. Unity with others does not require agreement. It requires a refusal to dehumanize. This refusal is echoed in Emmett Fox's short but potent book, The Golden Key. Fox offers a radical, deceptively simple practice. When facing conflict, do not focus on the problem. Do not focus on the person. Focus entirely on the essence of God within the person. At first, this may sound like avoidance, but Fox means something far more personally demanding. To turn fully toward God is to turn toward the truth beneath appearances. It is to see past behavior, personality, and fear, and hold attention on the divine presence within them that cannot be corrupted. In applying this, something shifts. Judgment loosens its grip, fear softens, and often, though not always immediately, the relationship begins to change, because you have changed how you see. Let's enter a time of inner reflection. Gently ask, what would change if I saw this relationship with the sacred vision of God, instead of the impulsive heat of reaction? Take a deep breath in and release slowly. This practice aligns with Edgar Cayce's teachings on relationships, as explored in the book, Edgar Cayce on Relationships by Kevin Tedeschi. Cayce taught that no relationship is accidental. Every encounter, brief or lifelong, carries spiritual purpose. Some relationships come to comfort. Some come to teach. Some come to challenge us at the precise point where unity has not yet been embodied. From this perspective, the people who trouble us most are not obstacles to unity. They are invitations to embrace unity. Let's enter a time of inner reflection. Ask within, who in my life has been asking me to see others more deeply, even if I have resisted? Let a name arise without forcing it. Psychology reinforces this spiritual insight. In the book, The Art of Loving by Erich Fromm, Fromm reframes love not as a feeling, but as a practice and discipline. Love, he argues, is not something that merely happens to us. It is something we choose to cultivate through attention, responsibility, respect, and knowledge. Fromm warns that much of what we call love is actually attachment, projection, or need. True love, by contrast, requires seeing the other person as a full being, not as a role, a function, or a mirror of our own unmet needs. Unity with others becomes rigorous here. It demands maturity. It demands self-awareness. Let's enter a time of inner reflection. Ask quietly, where have I been asking another person to carry the burden of what only I can heal? Now breathe in and release. Fromm's insight connects seamlessly with Marshall Rosenberg's message in the book, Nonviolent Communication. Rosenberg teaches us to listen beneath words and behaviors, toward unmet needs we are seeking to satisfy. When we do this, enemies become human again. Conflict becomes information on differences rather than a threat. Nonviolent communication does not ask us to tolerate harm. It asks us to understand its roots. And understanding becomes a pathway to boundaries that are firm yet compassionate, clear without cruelty. Let us enter a time of personal reflection. Consider one relationship you have with tension. Ask within, what need might be hidden beneath their behavior? And what need might be hidden beneath mine? Take a deep breath and release. Now we turn to the body and the brain. In the book, Social Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, Goleman reveals that our nervous systems are not isolated. They are deeply interconnected to one another. Emotion is contagious. Presence is contagious. Calm, empathy, and attunement can reshape what is possible between people. This means unity with others is not only spiritual, it is biological. When you choose compassion, your body teaches another body what safety feels like. Jeremy Rifkin expands this in the book, The Empathic Civilization, tracing humanity's growing capacity for empathy across history. He suggests that our survival depends on expanding our circle of care from tribe to nation to planet. Unity with others, in this view, is not optional. It is evolutionary and necessary. let's turn inward for a moment. Ask gently, where is my circle of compassion for others ready to grow? Let the answer come as a feeling, not a concept. Philosophy deepens this conversation further. In the book I and Thou, Martin Buber describes two fundamental ways of relating. I-it, where we objectify others, and I-thou, where we encounter another as sacred presence. Unity is born in the I-thou encounter. Not when we analyze, categorize, or judge, but when we meet another soul with reverence. Emmanuel Levinas adds a piercing insight. In the book, The Face of the Other, Levinas calls us into responsibility before we have time to think. Ethics arises the moment we truly encounter another human being. Unity with others, then, is not sentimental. It is ethical. It is spiritual. It is embodied. In this next time of reflection, bring to mind one person you tend to objectify, perhaps through irritation, dismissal, or silent superiority. Ask quietly, what would it look like to meet them as a thou instead of an it? Now breathe. Now, let us gather these voices into a single knowing. Forgiveness teaches us to restore humanity. Psychology teaches us to see beneath behavior. Neuroscience teaches us we are already connected. Philosophy teaches us that relationship is sacred ground. And all of it points to the same truth. To see the divine in others is to remember it in yourself. In this final reflection cycle, ask within, who in my life is asking to be seen, not as they appear, but as they truly are? Let your heart answer in its own language. Unity is not sameness. It is reverence of others. And reverence is the doorway through which love becomes real. Take a final breath in and release. Carry this into your day. Let your eyes become kinder. Let your words build bridges and not walls. Let your presence become a sanctuary. And let unity become something you live. One heart, one conversation at a time. As we come to a close, There is nothing you need to carry, nothing you need to remember, and nothing you need to make of what you've heard. Allow what has resonated to remain, and let the rest pass gently away. You are welcome to return whenever you feel drawn. Until then, may you walk in love, joy, peace, presence, and rest in unity. Thank you for listening.